Hi everyone and welcome back to Roseglish Radio. In one of our lessons we talked about why you can't start Russian literature with War and Peace or Dostoevsky right away. You need a foundation. Today we're going to talk about one of the most important building blocks of that foundation. A character type that appears again and again in Russian books. A character that helps you understand almost everything that comes later. Today's topic is the little man. So first, let's make this very simple. In Russian literature, the little man is not literally small. He is little in society. He's usually poor, powerless, unnoticed, unimportant in the eyes of the state or society. He doesn't make history. History happens to him. He's a clerk, a servant, a soldier, a peasant, a poor student, a lonely child. And Russian writers ask a very serious question. What is the value of a human life if society treats that person as nothing? Let me repeat. What is the value of a human life if society treats that person as nothing? To understand why the little man matters so much, we need a little context. For a very long time, Russia was a country of serfdom, rigid social classes, strong state power, weak individual rights. Most people had no voice. So Russian writers did something revolutionary. They made the most insignificant person the center of the story. Not kings, not heroes, not winners, but the forgotten human being. One of the earliest and most important examples comes from Alexander Pushkin. In The Station Master, we see a small, powerless man who loses everything: his dignity, his daughter, his place in the world. Pushkin doesn't shout. He doesn't judge. He simply asks us to look. Then comes Nikolai Gogol, who takes the little man even further. In the story, the overcoat Akaki Akakievich is a poor clerk whose entire life revolves around copying documents. His dream is not love or success. His dream is a new coat. When the coat is stolen, his life collapses. The story is often funny and deeply cruel. And that's exactly the point. Here's something very important. Russian writers do not romanticize the little man. He's not perfect. He's often passive, fearful, awkward, silent. But he is human. And Russian literature insists even the smallest human life has infinite moral value. This idea becomes the moral backbone of later literature. Let me repeat the idea. Even the smallest human life has infinite moral value. Now here's where things get really interesting. The little man doesn't disappear. He evolves. By the time we reach Dostoevsky, the little man becomes someone like Raskolnikov. Still poor, still powerless, still invisible, but now he asks a dangerous question. If society treats me as nothing, do I have the right to become something by force? Let me repeat. If society treats me as nothing, do I have the right to become something by force? You cannot understand Dostoevsky without understanding the little man first. Now, why this confuses American readers? For American readers, this character can feel strange. In American literature, stories often focus on success, growth, self-expression, winning against the odds. The Russian little man does not win. He suffers, he endures, he reveals injustice. And the lesson is not, look what he achieved. The lesson is, look how society treats him and ask yourself, is this acceptable? Let me repeat. The lesson is, look how society treats him and ask yourself if this is acceptable. So before you read Crime and Punishment, The Brothers Karamazov, War and Peace, you need to recognize this figure. Because Russian literature is always asking, who is responsible for the suffering of the weak? Is dignity given by society or by God? Can a person remain human when crushed by the system? These questions begin with a little man. So when you read Russian literature, don't rush past the small characters. They are not decoration, they are the foundation. And in the next episode, we'll talk about another key idea: why suffering plays such a central role in Russian stories, and why it is not the same as despair. If this helps you understand Russian literature a little better, subscribe to Rusglish Radio and continue this journey with me.